Hi you guys, welcome to Mama Monday. So this week I'm going to be talking about mama guilt. I had my first real experience with it recently. Just a few days ago we were snuggling with little Juniper when we happened to notice that she had a little bit of a red sore spot on her neck. And then when we tried to wipe at it, it started to bleed. Just like a tiny bit, but still it was super sad. My gut feeling was that it was a yeast infection in her neck. We texted our pediatrician, we texted our pediatrician and she asked us to come in the next day to check it out. And so we went, and sure enough, it was what I thought. It was a little bit of a yeast infection. She thought there was like a little bit of bacteria in there. You know, she said it's super common not to worry about it. She gave us this really nice natural cream we've been putting on Juniper's neck, and it's really pretty much gone at this point. It's just maybe a tiny bit red, but it's been healing really well. And it hasn't really bothered Juniper that much, and we just happened to discover it really quickly, I think, before it got worse or it got to a point where it could have been needing more than just a natural cream. But anyways, the point is that it was a yeast infection, and that is something that is totally preventable. And even though I know it's completely common and this happens all the time, and it's really just, it's a common thing that happens. Little babies get so chubby, and there's like drooling, and there's spit up, and there's just like sweat in between like their folds, and she has all these cute little rolls on her neck, and she's starting to get rolls on her little legs and her little arms and everything, and it just creates the perfect environment for things like yeast infections or little bacteria to get stuck in there and to grow. Which the thing is, if you just have to stay on top of it, and you have to constantly be vigilant about keeping it clean and keeping it dry so that this doesn't happen, which I knew, I knew this, and I thought that we tried really hard to keep her little neck clean, and we did. Everyone, when I talked about it in our vlog, everyone shared their tip of using bandana bibs, but we really do, I feel like we use them a lot, but it just wasn't enough. We just weren't doing it enough. So because it is something that's completely preventable, even though it's a very common thing, I just felt so guilty. I felt so bad that Juniper, I just felt really bad. I felt really bad that she had to go through it, and she depends on us to take care of her, and we are the ones responsible for her, and responsible for her health and for her hygiene and for her feeding and for her diaper changes and for everything. We are responsible to make sure that she's okay, and this was hard for me to kind of experience it. And basically it just got me thinking about mama guilt. And I am very well aware that this is not going to be the only mistake that Corbin and I make as parents, and it's really pretty minor, and it's probably not a big deal to a lot of people. But just the fact that we are going to make mistakes is so hard. It's just so hard to have that feeling of guilt. And even if you're not making official mistakes, it's that feeling of guilt that is so attached to parenting. And I think it's attached to parenting for a lot of different reasons. I think it's attached to parenting because there's so much judgment out there around parenting. People are always telling you that, oh, you really need to do it this way, or you're doing it wrong, or my way is better, or that's not how I did it. And it's exhausting. It really is. And I kind of just wanted to start this conversation to see what you all as moms, if you're moms, or your friends who are moms, or just if you know moms, what is the strategies, or what are you guys doing to kind of manage this sort of constant mama guilt that so many moms I know talk about? It's just feeling guilty that they're not a good enough mom, or they're not doing everything they could do. And the reality is that there's so much you have to do besides being a mom. Yes, being a mom is so important, but you still have to take care of yourself. You can't just not take care of yourself. You still have to, there's just I don't know, I think it's complicated, and I think that the this idea of mama guilt is so real, and yet I think that we need to be doing something about it. I'm a new mom, obviously I'm naive and I don't know everything that I'm talking about, but I just really think that we need to address it as moms. It's like, yes, we're not perfect and that's okay, and we're gonna make mistakes and that's okay, and if we aren't living the ideal life that society tells us is the perfect way to be a mom, then that's okay, because we are each our own mom with our own children, and everyone has a different life circumstance. So that's basically the topic for this week, and I kind of just want you all to carry on the conversation down in the comments below. What do you think? What are your strategies about dealing with mom guilt, and how can we address it and like move beyond it as moms? What do you think? Leave those comments down below, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for watching. Be where your feet are. Bye.